Hey guys, so I've got some nuggets of advice for you today, a few training tips. I'm going to keep it very short and simple. Lots of people have been asking me recently about the best warm-up exercises to go through before an upper body routine. Well, whoa, let's stop it there and let's maybe look at adjusting the terminology slightly and talking about prep exercises rather than warm-up routine, because you're preparing the body for specific movements that will become your working sets later on in the session. So the terminology is actually quite important because it gets you thinking slightly differently, which gets you acting differently in the warm-up #prep exercises. So if you start your session thinking about prep exercises specifically for those working sets, then you'll be going down that path of enhancing the physiology, enhancing the way the body works to get the maximum out of your working sets, which should hopefully improve performance, reduce chances of injury and so on. So the first tip to really talk about is creating good tension in the body. Now we all know about bad tension in the body. Lots of people suffer from bad tension in the lower back, in the pecs, in the neck. Lots of postural issues around bad tension, but we want to create good tension as much as possible so that we can increase the performance of any given exercise. So let's take the bench press for instance. We want to make sure that there's good tension coming from the shoulder blades, coming from the mid upper back, from the mid traps and rhomboids, but we also want to make sure that there's good tension in the grip as well. So we're topping and tailing the main action itself and not just focusing on hammering the shoulder joint, hammering the elbow joint, which is what a lot of people do, and they start to run into a little bit of trouble with getting sensitivity in the tendons, in the elbows and in the shoulders, but also they're never really maximizing their full potential of how strong they could be because they haven't got enough support behind the action half of the time. So if you're going through a chest press routine, you want to make sure that you're going through shoulder blade exercises, maybe getting a bungee, one of my favorites, getting a wide pull, making sure that you're engaging through your mid traps, rhomboids and your shoulder blades, providing a strong basis, a strong foundation in which to press movements off the chest, like a chest press and so on. And my next tip is all about trying to build in that tension in the final few seconds before the first rep of the set. I always say to my clients, very often the quality of the whole set is decided in the last few seconds leading up to that very first rep. So instead of going from a completely relaxed state to a completely engaged state, build in the tension through the shoulder blades, through the grip, and just feel that tension build, and then you've got a stronger starting point for that first rep, and the quality of the rest of the set should follow on after that. So in summary, or in a nutshell, as I like to call it, I'll just throw that in. So in summary, start with your terminology. Start referring to prep exercises rather than just the warm-up. That's number one. Number two, look at creating good tension in the body. So a good example of that is strong shoulder blades and strong grip to top and tail the movement that you'll be performing. And lastly, making sure that you build tension in, build that good tension in the lead up to the first rep. More often than not, the quality of that set will be decided in the last few seconds leading up to that very first rep. So take your time, build in the tension, make sure that you can feel the tension being directed into those key spots, shoulder blades, grip, and then work off the back of that. See how it feels. Try it when you're next in the gym. Get to grips with it a little bit. If you don't mind me saying, get to grips with it. So if you have any further questions, then down there. If you've got any further questions, just write them down there with your fingers on a keyboard, and write them out into words and sentences, so we can all understand them.
Just one more tiny thing before you go. Do not forget to press the subscribe button. There'll be so much cool information coming your way, wicked videos. Press the button now.